Okay, now we are on to example number 2. And there's really no difference except for that some of the words and some of the context is a little bit more complicated in example 2, but we're going to see that it's the same exact thing. So, Daniel owns a business. When he started his business, he owed investors $1,000. His business makes a net profit of $300 a month. Write an equation to show Daniel's profit, Y, per month, X. So there's a few things that we need to unpack here. Okay, and the first thing is, if I read this, well, actually, let's start from the beginning. What is this asking me to do? What is it asking me to do? Great. So just like in our last one, it's asking me to write an equation. Okay, well, what equation is it talking about? Great job. So same thing, we know we're trying to find my y equals mx plus b. Okay. Now, we need to think, what are the two important pieces, just like before? What are the two important pieces of the linear equation? Great, we have our m and we have our b. Well, just like before, our m stands for what? Great job, it's our slope, which also means that it's our change. Okay, it's our change, and that means that our b is our y-intercept, and it's also our start. Okay. So let's break this down and see if we can find these two things within this problem. Okay, so let's just read it again. Daniel owns a business. When he started his business, he owed investors $1,000. Let's look at that first. Owed investors $1,000. What does that mean? Well, first of all, what does it mean if you owe somebody something? Right, it means that you actually need to give them money back. It means that you borrowed from them and now you owe them back. Investors, well, we've talked about this in our last unit. What is an investor? Great. So an investor is somebody who gives a business money so that they can start their business. So if you owe investors $1,000, do you have $1,000? Great job. No. So if you owe investors $1,000, what that means is that you're starting with negative $1,000. So because you owe, that's important. Because you owe, our B is negative 1,000. So you have to read into that context to really understand, is that going to be a positive 1,000 or negative? Well, if you owe people money, you have negative $1,000. Okay, let's look at our change. So let's see if we can find that. His business makes a net profit of $300 a month. Well, what does it mean for a net profit? Great, so a net profit means that that's how much you're making every month. That's just a fancy way of saying that's how much we're making. Okay, if it said he makes $300 a month, well, making a net profit is the same thing. So makes $300 a month, and you even see the word makes here still. So makes, that is our change. You are making that money, so it's not a negative 300. Our m does equal a positive 300. See if you can put that together and see if you can write the equation with those two pieces. Great, so our final equation would be y equals 300x, and then you could write plus negative 1,000, or you could just write minus 1,000. Great job.